Welcome back to Socks and Sandals, and welcome to another 2024 pickups update video thing. So, I'm going to start things off heavy here. As you can see, this is this page's stack of Xbox 360 games. I believe in the last video I said that Xbox 360 FOMO had set in pretty hard. FOMO to me is something that, like, it's the game that all of the game collecting YouTubers are talking about. Like the ones where they're like, you have to go out and buy this. This is going up in price. I've been collecting Xbox 360. As you can see, I didn't just amass this whole just hoard back here the moment Metal Jesus Rocks or Mr. Rightway or whoever, I think it's like Caleb's Game Room or whatever. I didn't just go out and buy all of this because they said I needed to. I've been collecting Xbox 360 since Xbox 360 was new. Unfortunately, a lot of the games that I bought when I had Xbox 360, I've sold because I was in high school, junior high. And I obviously wanted to buy more games, so what you had to do was sell your old games to buy new ones. I now have a pretty decent job with a good amount of expendable income, so that's why all of a sudden it's just like bam. But a good portion of these I've already played, and a lot of them aren't, they're not your Cold Sept Saga or Operation Darkness or whatever other one Mr. Rightway tells you need to go buy because the price is going to go up on it, which kind of inadvertently caused the price to go up on it. So take that for what you will. Or maybe not inadvertently, but the price went up on it. But yeah, enough ranting about the Xbox 360 market, and let's just get into it. So I went back to... No, this is the first time I'd gone there. I've recently gone back. So this is the first time I went to a new game store. It's new to me. It was in Carrollton, and then they have another location in Louisville, which I also went to in the same day. But I got Fable 3 on the Xbox 360, obviously, only on Xbox 360. I believe this was like $5. I thought Fable 3 was okay. I played this when it was free with gold way back when. But I like Fable 3 all right. Fable 2 is my favorite Fable, and Fable Anniversary or the original Fable I don't very much care for, but I thought Fable 3 was alright, and it was only $5, so I decided to add it back to my collection. Well, I guess add it to my collection. I don't think I've ever owned Fable 3 physically. Like I said, I played it when it was free with gold. Plus, the store is called like Collectible Cards or Cards Collectibles. It's like 3C's. I can't really remember it, but it's in Carrollton and Louisville are their two locations. But they were having a sale. All of their yellow tagged stuff was, I believe, buy two, get one free. So I got Fable 3 and at the same store. So a good portion of the 360 stack here is going to be at that store because, like I said, they were having a sale. I got Da Blob 2. This is apparently similar to Splatoon, where like the levels consist of you being this colored blob. I think all of the levels are in black and white, and to complete the level, you have to color it. It's a 3D platformer. Again, if you've seen my other pickups, I look at the achievements to see, like, if it's something I have an interest in, like, oh, that looks kind of interesting, I'll look at the achievements to see if it's worth picking up, to see if I can get all of them, and that is pretty much my deciding factor. The achievement list looks pretty doable, and I believe this is backwards compatible on the Series X, so that's kind of neat. And then Nathan talked me into getting this one. I'm not big into Western like fantasy, like high fantasy RPGs. Todd McFarlane, I guess, did the artwork for it, but this is Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. Yes, they did do an updated version of this on the Xbox One, but like I said, I found this. So I actually have the sticker still on the back of this. It's Collectible Cards and Games is the name of the store. But yeah, they were having the sale there. I needed something to get something free, so this got added to the stack because Nathan likes it. And I do like RPGs, but I prefer JRPGs. It'll get played, but will it get played before I die? Or before I'm close to death? Maybe that's what needs to happen. I need to retire so I can actually play all of these games. And then we've got Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter. Like I said, I believe in one of my past little pickups updates video. A buddy of mine at work sold me a lot of his 360 games, and I got either Tom Clancy's Future Soldier or Advanced Warfighter 2. He sold me one of those. I believe it was Future Soldier. And that kind of, like, the spines for all of the Tom Clancy's games looks like this. So I was like, that would be kind of cool to have just several games next to each other on a shelf. Because I alphabetize mine by Tom. It's Tom Clancy's whatever. So they're in the T section. Even though it's a last name, and technically it would probably be the actual name of the game, but I wanted them to all be next to each other, so I alphabetized them by Tom. And still, another one at Collectibles Cards and Games. This is Disney Pixar's Cars. I am continuing my childhood dream of getting all of the Disney Pixar games on Xbox 360. So I found this one at Collectibles Cards and Games and got it. So this one I got at the other location, the Louisville location. This is Infinite Undiscovered, another JRPG, I believe. Yes. So this has 2 discs. So one of those big chonker 360 games. But yeah, I like JRPGs. Like, I don't know why I'm buying all these JRPGs. Like, you want to talk about time sinks? JRPGs are probably the fucking most egregious time sinks. But the fucking anime girls just get me. So I'm going to fucking just spend money just to look at fucking anime girls all day long. That's funny because the game under this one is exactly that. So when I got the other 2 Army of 2 games, this was the final one I needed. I actually bought this off of Gamestop, but the copy I received was just a loose disc, so I had to go online, and I basically bought a whole nother copy because no one was selling just the case, so I ended up just trading in the disc I got with this case and put the copy I got in here. Yeah, so that was the final Army of 2 game I needed. So, again, split screen co-op. Nathan, you know what needs to happen. So this game, I just happened to search this on Mercari, and it popped up. Someone was selling it for $16. So this is Dead or Alive Extreme 2. You probably can't tell in the camera, but the artwork is extremely sun faded. And it also doesn't have the manual. But for $16, I thought, yeah, I'll grab that. I think right now it's going for like 40, 50. I actually found this at GameStop. If you've seen my gamer card at 250,000, I talked about this because it showed up on my gamer card. And I was explaining why. So I found that at GameStop for $19. The artwork on it wasn't as sun faded. It still didn't have the manual, but I was like, well, I've already got it. But what I decided to do is I went home and I was like, I'll test the copy I have, because my disc, you're probably still not going to be able to see on camera. you know, it's got a few scratches on it. It's got one that is far more noticeable than the others, and that one was the one that worried me. So it's like, well, I'll go home, test my copy, and if it doesn't work, I'll come back up here and buy that one. Well, I came home, tested it, so I didn't need to go back up there and buy it. I was actually at the Waxahachie Gamestop yesterday, and that Dead or Alive Extreme 2 was gone, which for $19 I can see. Because if it's selling for $40 elsewhere, $19 is a pretty good deal. Especially if you're a pro member, then you can get like another dollar off. So this here, as you can see, is XCOM Enemy Unknown. But what I'm talking about here is this disc, which is the XCOM Enemy Within. Enemy Within actually includes the XCOM Enemy Unknown. But when I ordered Army of Two, Devil's Cartel, I ordered this as well, and then another game we'll talk about in a second. And they both came loose, but I had this like dual disc case, so I just put the copy of XCOM Enemy Unknown I already had and Enemy Within together, and I've just got them both in this one. Next up, so I was out of town for work. We were in Killeen, and we went by College Station. So I was out of town for work, and we went to College Station, the College Station Game Exchange, Seth and I bought this. This is RC Pro. It is a arcade, not really arcade. It's a simulation racing game. It's one I'd never heard of. So when I saw it up there, I picked it up. I believe I only paid $9 for it. And what was cool is, so it's got, well, that's a gold trial there, but it had this, I don't know if it really matters, but I'm going to cover that up. I have already used this, but fuck it. So it had this GameStop, like, pre-order for the Super B code in it, and it hadn't been redeemed, so I redeemed it. So that was cool. I have played this. It's a pretty halfway decent racing sim. It's, of course, no Forza Motorsport, or I really can't say Gran Turismo because I haven't played any of the Gran Turismos but the second one and the modern Gran Turismo. No, I take that back. I played Gran Turismo 5 Prologue for a little bit. But, yeah, it's not the, like, most advanced racing sim. Again, it's a 360 game. This came out in, sure, we'll just say 2009 is when this came out. So it's a bit dated, but it was a pretty decent racing sim from what I've played. Next up, I got this at the Corsicana Game Exchange. It's Bully Scholarship Edition. This is actually the second time I've had Bully Scholarship Edition in my collection. Again, when I was a kid, you had to sell games to get games. The first time I bought this, I actually bought it at GameStop for $15. I think I probably paid $10 for this copy. It, of course, didn't have the manual, but yeah, I like Bully. Bully is one of the games I have all of the achievements for. I would love a Bully 2, but Rockstar seems too preoccupied with releasing add-on content for Grand Theft Auto 5 for the straight decade. So, that's cool. And this next game I got at just some, we were, again, setting up site for work in H2O or something like that. It's near Fort Worth. I just typed in game stores near me and went and got a copy of X-Blades. I paid $10 for this. I actually still have the receipt. So it was Retro Madness in Bedford, Texas. Yeah, I bought this. It doesn't show the other game, but I'm fairly certain it's the next game. But yeah, I got this for $10. it doesn't have the manual, as you can see. But I have never seen this in a game store. I've, of course, seen all of the YouTubers talk about it, but I was like, I'll grab that for obvious reasons. And then, so this one, I believe I got at the same game store. So I already had the first two worlds, and if you saw my last pickups video, I was trying to buy this one, but the copy I picked up at Half Price Books had Lego Harry Potter in it. So when I was at that Retro Madness, seemed like fate to find X-Blades and Two Worlds 2. It's crazy as well, because they're both published by South Peak Games. So that's pretty, like, what a fantastical coincidence. Next up, I believe this was the last game I got from the Mesquite Half Price Books. This is Secret Service on the Xbox 360. The Mesquite Half Price Books has since closed down. It's been closed for probably a whole month now. But, yeah. This was the last one I got there. It was like slim pickings when Nathan and I went back in there. They had already transferred a lot of their inventory to other stores, so really wasn't a lot to choose from. That was one of the stores I had, like, on a run. Anytime I hung out with Nathan and was like, hey, let's go game shopping, because in Mesquite there's really not a lot, and now there's only a black hole where a game exchange used to be, and then the GameStop in the mall, and then the GameStop in Old Mesquite. They used to have another game store there, but now they only sell tabletop. And if you ask Nathan about it, he'll tell you that he's still mad about that person that works there. But so, last Xbox 360 game I got for whenever this was, sometime this year. It's the first Two Worlds. Let's see. I'm fairly certain I got this at Game Exchange in Waxahachie. I either got it at Game Exchange or at the Half Price Books in Mesquite. Could have been either or. Alright, so now that we've got the Xbox 360 fodder out of the way, let's do PS3. Well, let's do PS3 because I've only got one PS3 game. So this was the last MotorStorm. I wanted to call it Pacific Rift, but that's the second title. This was the last MotorStorm game I needed, and I actually ordered this off of GameStop with the XCOM Enemy Within and Army of Two Devils Cartel. And this one actually came complete. So out of the games that I ordered and didn't come complete, I'm absolutely chuffed that this one did. Because I'm not going to say this is like stupid expensive, but it's like a $15 PS3 game. And I think I only paid like $10 for it on GameStop. And to have it like come complete was a welcome surprise, especially since the other two games I ordered weren't. So that was something. And then, so another game I also got at the College Station Game Exchange. This is Uncharted Lost Legacy. This was the last Uncharted game I needed. I'm not counting the one on the PS Vita because I'm not going to buy games for systems that I don't even have, let alone will probably never play. I've played all of the other Uncharted except the first one, but I do have the double pack for PS3, so if I have a hankering to play some janky-ass platforming games, I can pop that one in and then play Lost Legacy, because that would be Final Uncharted I would need to play. I just kind of moved on to PS4 and didn't let you know I was doing PS4. But final PS4 game, I got this at, I believe it's called Recharge in Mesquite. I was finishing a BOPA over there in that area, and I just thought I'd drive by. They had this there. So I'm currently doing a playthrough of this on the channel. Part 2. Well, technically, Part 3 should be up by the time this one comes out. It came out last week. If you're seeing this, Part 3 of this playthrough came out last week. But yeah, this is Senran Kagura Burst Renewal. Another series of games I don't see at game stores too often. And to have just like randomly walked in there and found this. I found another game there too that I was actively looking for and was just super ecstatic to have actually found it. But I like the Senran Kagura series. Peach Beach Splash is probably my favorite, as well as Bon Appetit. I played that one on Steam, but yeah, it's just mindless, ecchi fun. So perfect for me. And then speaking of mindless fun, I got this one as well at the Corsicana Game Exchange. This is Total Overdose, a gunslinger's adventure tale in Mexico. I have heard one person talk about this, and I can't remember. I saw a video talking about this. So this came out around the same time as like the Saints Row. Well, no, not Saints Row because it's on the original Xbox. I guess like Grand Theft Auto. According to the little blurb on the back, it's elements of Max Payne, Tony Hawk, and Robert Rodriguez films smashed together by GameStop or GameSpot. But yeah, it's just like one of those mindless, senseless violence and just probably offensive video games. So I got it, and it was supposed to come with a bonus DVD of Tomb Raider or Tomb Raider Legend. When I got this, the chick was like, "Hey, it's supposed to have a DVD with it," and obviously it doesn't. The manager was like, "Yeah, we can't guarantee that." And it's like, I kind of figured, but it would have been cool. But yeah, I haven't played that yet, but again, something else I don't see, and I'd only heard of it that one time. So I was like, why not? All right, so next up is PS5. Actually got, some recent releases here. Stellar Blade. Again, obvious reasons why I picked this up. I have played, not a lot of it, but some of it. At least like the first hour. I'm just kind of preoccupied with Like a Dragon Ishin and the Senran Kagura playthrough. I'm playing Bulletstorm on Xbox, so it's just in the backlog. But what I've played, it's like an easier form of Dark Souls. It's got the Dark Souls fighting combat, but there are actual checkpoints. So if you die, you're not technically sent all the way back to the bonfire. There are other checkpoints in the game. So I'll eventually get back around to finishing that. I'll probably need to restart because I've absolutely forgotten the combat. But this next one, so I actually intended to do a trophy hunt tours of this. So this is Pacific Drive, and this is the only way it comes, is this, if you want a physical anyways, this deluxe edition. It comes with a little art book and like some postcards and stuff. All those feelies. So it was touted as a driving horror game. It really isn't a horror game. Like, there are monsters in it, but it's in no way scary. It's got too much crafting in it. Like, you have to keep maintenance on your car. You got to go out and like collect supplies to build stuff for your shop, and that is just like the least interesting game mechanic to me. I cannot stand crafting in video games, but I gave it I probably played it for maybe 3 hours. I was trying to give it its best shot. And again, I was doing a trophy hunt tours for it. I just can't. Like, if it was just like driving around and experiencing horror that way, I'd be all for it. Yeah. Like, even just the upkeep of the car, I could do. But having to actually craft items for a shop and just other stupid stuff, I sorry, I'm out. Out. All right. So last stack of games here is Xbox One Series X. I combine them into the same stack because the only real differing factor for them is a green strip on the side. But at the second collectibles, cards, and games location, I got Metal Gear Survive strictly because it's the worst Metal Gear game. I think it was only $5. I am somewhat interested in actually playing this. I wouldn't, obviously, I didn't buy this when it came out at full price because just Konami is being Konami. To get a second save, you've got to pay for it, and it's just not Metal Gear. But at $5, I'm willing to give a zombie Metal Gear game a shot. Could be some decent achievement fodder, but you know, it's in the backlog. I didn't notice that it's not in here, but on the front it says exclusive Xbox offer for Metro 2033 Redux. So this was the last Metro game I needed. I already had 2033 and Last Light on the 360, so I needed Exodus to complete that subset. I played 2033 way back when, shortly after beating Fallout 3, and I was like, ooh, another post-apocalyptic survival game. 2033 is way harder than Fallout 3, and I played the first mission of Last Light. I have not really given Metro a good shot, but now that I have all of them, they're in the backlog. Another subset complete. This was picked up at the first collectibles, cards, and games location, the Carrollton location. It's Crackdown 3. I've played the other two Crackdowns, Crackdown 1 and 2. I actually thought Crackdown 2 was a pretty good game. I haven't played any of Crackdown 3. Apparently, nobody really liked this. With as long as it took from Crackdown 2 to this one, I think people's expectations were just too high. But it does star Terry Crews, so. And another game I got at the Carrollton location, Monster Hunter World. Another JRPG. So, furthering just the completion of that backlog. Like, the goalpost is so far away, it'll probably never be reached. But there we go. So, another game I ordered with those other games from GameStop: Army of Two, Devil's Cartel, XCOM Enemy Within, MotorStorm Pacific Rift, and Cars 3. This was another one that was still loose. I was actually able to find a person selling just the case on eBay, so I bought the case, so I was able to complete this one. I actually own 2 copies of this game. The 360 version will be mentioned on a later updates video. So this next game, I originally saw this at Founded Electronics for the PS5. This is Vertigo. Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo. I didn't even know this was a thing. I was going to try and find a copy on PS5, but when I discovered that GameStop was selling it, I think I paid like $9.99 for this, and it's the deluxe version that comes with, again, an art book. Apparently this is kind of like a Telltale game where it's just a cinematic game, quote unquote, David Cage. But it's easy achievements because you get most of the achievements just from playing the game. There are a few missables judging by the list, but yeah, most of it is just from playing the game. I hear it has very little to do with Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo. It's just name alone. I believe the main character does have vertigo, but it's not following his movie at all. But yeah, with as like a Vertigo game, Alfred Hitchcock's Vertigo in 2024. Like, what are these developers doing? But yeah, with it being a weird thing and just easy achievement fodder, why not? And then, so I bought this the same time Vertigo from Gamestop. This one was also on sale. This is 13, the terrible remake. I used to have 13 on PS2 way back when, and it's surprising because I remember playing that game and I would tell people about it and nobody knew what the hell I was talking about. And then I grew up and started watching game rakes and stuff and started seeing people mentioning 13 like in like one of the most unique games or whatever list. And it's like, I remember playing that. And then they announced a remake and it came out and it was dog ass. With it being on sale, I got it, and I hear they've updated it. It's still not the same cel-shaded graphics as the original, but I hear they fixed a lot of the bugs in the update, so I feel like a sale price is worth giving it a shot. So the last game I got at... This isn't the last game I'm going to mention, but this is the last game I got at the College Station Game Exchange. This is Agatha Christie, The ABC Murders. If you've seen my other pickups videos, you know I'm a big investigative game. But Agatha Christie is an old school murder mystery novelist, and it looks like they based a game off of one of her novels. I haven't played this yet. Funnily enough, it's made by the same people that did the Vertigo game. I just now noticed that. So that's crazy. But, yeah. I think this is another one where you get most of the achievements just from playing the game. But with it being a detective investigative game, I'm all for it. This one's higher up on the backlog than a lot of them, just because of the genre. And the last game we'll be talking about, the other game I got at Recharge, a game I was looking for, is the Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. So, I used to have this on 360. I bought the 360 version because it was cheaper. But if I want to get all of the achievements in this, I would then have to also buy the DLC, and I think there's 2 DLC packs, and they're both $9.99 each, so it would have been $18. I was like, if I can find a copy on Xbox One, it comes with all of the DLC on disc. So this is the definitive way to play it. Obviously, by the name, Definitive Edition. I was looking for it, and online it was like $20, $15, which is a little more than I wanted to spend. I found this at Recharge for $10, so that was cool. But yeah, again, it's in the backlog. This is one of Brandon's favorite games. I played the first chase sequence in this, where you're running after the dude in the Hong Kong harbor, and that's about it. I haven't really played any of this, but I know it's like, it was originally supposed to be a what was that series? True Crime? Yeah. It was True Crime Streets of LA and then True Crime Streets of New York or something like that. It was supposed to be True Crime Hong Kong. Something happened and the developers had to change it to Sleeping Dogs. But yeah, that was this pickup list. If there are any games in this list that you think I should just drop everything and play right now, leave them in the comments down below. If you like these sort of videos, leave it a like. If you're into this kind of content, I also do, like I said, trophy hunting videos, achievement hunting videos. We're doing a playthrough of Senran Kagura, so if that's something you want to check out, consider subscribing. But other than that, check back next time for whatever I do. Bye bye.